Hello, glad to know you are there. I am Ambrose Ezewani. Welcome to Citizens Voice. Good people, great nation. Do you still remember that slogan? Well, I do. I just thought about it yesterday, and I think we are still a great people and a great nation. Good people, great nation. That's what we are. No matter the limitations, no matter the challenges, that's where we're heading for if we are not yet there. Welcome again to your program, A Citizen's Voice. Every Saturday, 12 noon, we are here to listen to you, to hear what you have to say, to hear your concerns about the nation, about the state, about your local government, even about your environment. That's what this program is all about, to give you a platform, a chance to speak up and speak out. Okay, so what's on your mind today? That's what we want to hear. Remember the rule, the only rule is say what you want to say the way you want to say it, but don't use foul language. Don't insult anyone when you are speaking, okay? Right. Again, the herdsmen issue still on the front burner. Security at the National Assembly and everywhere, if you like. The pronouncement of the president about the youths, there are defense here and there, and what the youths are angry about is that he said they are lazy. But the president is saying he didn't say that. He says most Nigerian youths are lazy. So not all of them. Well, maybe you want to talk more about that later. You've heard how the Mace was stolen and returned to the assembly, found under the bridge somewhere in Abuja, and the people concerned now are looking at security measures. That's what are we to do? Are we going to work out a new security? Because people were wondering, how could people walk into the National Assembly unchecked? I mean, people who are not members. So it suggests that there's no way of identifying members. There are no tags, probably. There are no identifiers. So anybody could just dress fine and walk into the assembly. For people to have just walked in there, removed the mace, well, that was shocking. That was shocking. But they are thinking again now, thinking aloud about security measures. And we are going to look at it this morning, asking ourselves, or this afternoon, does it mean that before now, there has been no security? There's been no way of identifying who is a legislator or who is qualified to enter the house or not. That's what the suggestion is. And that's why we went around the street to ask people what they think about the security situation at the National Assembly, talking precisely about the Senate. Does it mean that anybody could just, before now, walk in unidentified, no checks, no way of screening who is a member or who should enter the chamber or not? That's what that incident suggested, the picture it painted. And that's why we went around to ask people what they thought about the security situation at the Senate. Take a listen.
On issue of security is completely porous in all ratification, because look at the killings here and there in the middle belt of Nigeria. Then talking about the National Assembly, if they are secured, they are not secured. If they are secured, how could somebody with thugs come into the National House of Assembly, that is the Senate, to make away with our mess? So security is something zero. There's nothing to talk about that. It's completely zero. Because even as I'm speaking to you now, if anything happens, God forbid, nobody is going to account where we are before it happens. So Nigerians as a whole are not secure.
I have no security. Concerning this Mace issue, how can a suspended senator, which they have suspended, come in with talks and went into the hall, straight to the chamber with talks, and took away the mess where are the securities? In fact, when I had it, I was embarrassed. If we have enough security, they would have stopped him even at the main entrance before getting to inside. But we have no security. For security level, count us 0, 0, 0 for that one. I'm begging our government to look into that security issue. Killing everywhere. In fact, we are tired of that.
This is the question of life and property and information. And whereby this thing starts in national assembly, that lets you know that Nigeria is not safe. They have policemen that are stationed in the National Assembly. How will those who bypass the security that are in National Assembly went straight even from the exit door that shouldn't even be open, except if there's an emergency? That shows you that those that are there are not for the interest of the masses, they are for their stomach. And that man that did that couldn't have done it without the consent of the prominent people in this country, intruding into the National Assembly, carrying the mace with the thugs. It wouldn't have happened without the consent of the prominent people in Nigeria.
But the problem we have in this country is the people that are ruling us. They are in charge of the country security, and whatever they said is security is going to do. When you watch out, the people they are secure now, security is against for the masses. So if the federal government will look into it and know that the people that put them there, they are human beings, they will know how to control security. Then this Nigeria will be okay. But when they will be there controlling security to frustrating the people they are ruling, I think it's not fair. The only thing I'm saying inside this Nigeria, because if you go other country, they used to do it. Let all the students, all the university students gather together and they come out together to fight for our rights. They are stealing our rights away. We don't have any rights in Nigeria. That is why you see all this security doing all this doing. If you have our rights as masses, as youths, then all this security will tell you what to do. Not to be not like that. We have the security, but the problem we have is all the people that are ruling us. Senators, governors, presidents, they are the people that in problem of this country we have. That is why it's like we don't have any security.
All right, you've heard them, the views from the streets there on security, specifically at the National Assembly. That's talking about the Senate, with reference to what happened recently, the snatching or stealing of the Mace and the eventual return. So they are taking a second look at that now, thinking of using other means of identifying members or allowing people to access to the chambers. And I think that's important, thinking about the clock card, where you clock in and it opens for you and you go in. Well, what we say and what we saw or imagined from that incident was that before now, there was no particular way of identifying who is permitted to go into the Senate. Otherwise, those three men would have been stopped. Yeah, that's what it means. It means it was open to all before now, and you could just walk in if you are well dressed. Well, good, they're taking a look at it again. If you want to talk about that today, we're listening to you, want to hear what you want to say about that. If you have any other thing on your mind, don't forget the Cleaner Lagos initiative. Yes, Samson, you are there already. How are you? Hello, Samson. Hello, Samson. Samson is talking, but I can't hear him. Hello, Samson.
No. So it was not an issue of insecurity per se.
Okay.
They were all victims. Thank you.
Hello, Samson. Wow. It's like... Okay, it's like we've lost that call from Samson. He was on already, just that I couldn't hear him. Well, I hope we get it right. I know he mentioned, I heard the word security, so obviously he was talking about security situation. Well, if that's on your mind, you're watching, the numbers are there on your screen. Please just dial either and talk to us. Share your views with us. Remember the rule, don't use foul language, don't insult anybody, okay? Security at the National Assembly, everywhere actually, but because of what happened recently, we are focusing on the National Assembly. The herdsmen issue still on the front burner. If you have something to say about that, especially how it can be curbed, someone says it's difficult to use the military on them because they move around. So where are you going to put the military? Where are you going to station them? Will they have to be following the herdsmen all around? So that doesn't look like a very good solution. Some said the grazing policy of some states will work better. So if you find them outside the grazing area designated, then it means they mean some other business and you can easily react. Okay. Let's hear what you have to say. Cleaner Lagos is very important to us, to all those who live in Lagos especially. What is your area looking like in terms of cleanliness? The government's plan is to make Lagos cleaner. What do we see on ground? What do we see on ground? Hello, Chinemerem, you're welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, please, what I want to say about this.
The volume, you are too close to your set. And it's on, loud, so it's distorted. Can you kill the volume, if you like, of your TV set? Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Better.
Okay. What I want to say about this is that the person or the three people that came in and made away with the mess,
Yes.
they don't have intention of stealing it or doing anything bad with it, but rather they want to show us that we don't have security here in Nigeria.
Okay. Okay.
We don't have security at all.
Okay.
If they have any interior motive, they would have did that thing where nobody will see it. But for the fact that they reach somewhere across it, just for them to identify that there's nothing but security in Nigeria.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Chinemerem. That's a good one. That's a good angle to look at it from. He's simply saying that they didn't intend to do anything with the Mace. They just wanted to prove a point or let Nigerians know that there is no security, even at the chambers there. Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, it's possible. It's possible because they just wanted to. I mean, I asked myself when I heard it, what were they going to do with the Mace? What for? Were they going to sell it somewhere? It's not made of gold, I guess so. The value outside the chambers, well, I don't know. Maybe people who dwell in jewelry would know more about that. But I think I agree with Chinemerem that they just wanted to prove a point. Look, there is no security here, and let's show you. And they just walked in, took the Mace, and because some senators who tried to defend, or rather resist them, had to, you know what I mean. Okay, so. And there were no security officials even near enough to stop them. So that's why I agree with Chinemerem that they just wanted to score a point. Look, let's show you that there is no security here, even where the laws of the nation are being made. Okay, if you agree with him, we want to hear from you. If you don't, let's hear from you too. But we're glad that the Mace is returned and business continues, but at least the men are now thinking, and I mean the legislators are now thinking, how do we secure this place? Because that has proved to them that there's no security, as Chinemerem said, and they're now thinking, how do we stop this from happening again? Which is, if that's the aim, well, maybe you said they succeeded. They succeeded because they're now thinking about it. Before now, they never thought about how to secure that place. Okay. Samson called initially, we missed his contribution. Samson, if you would like to call again, let's hear you. Chinemerem has called from Ajegunle. Thank you very much. The numbers are still on your screen. Call any and let's talk. What's on your mind? I'm particularly interested in cleaner Lagos because if you make a change, the idea is that you do things better, not going backwards. So how is your area? How clean is your area? You want to tell us, is Vision Scope working or Loma working? Whichever. What we're talking about is cleaner Lagos. Do you have it in your own area? Then the pothole issues on roads, another issue in Lagos. Well, the government has talked about the road projects they have. What do we see? And someone has drawn my attention to the fact that you don't have rough roads in the VI area. And I said, really? He said, compare the roads there with the ones on the mainland. There's a big difference. It's like once there's a pothole, once a pothole develops in that area, they quickly attend to that. But in the mainland, it's like, let it go on for some time. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? Okay, if you drive through the roads on Ikeja, what do you see? Hello, Chooks. Hello, Chooks.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the true. There's no security in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's security, how can somebody come from somewhere and pick up the National Assembly? Is it possible like that?
Okay. So you agree there's no security?
So I don't think there is security in Nigeria. It is not proper. You understand?
Sorry, come again?
So this kind of a thing does not happen in other countries. In a developed country, how can somebody just come from nowhere?
Okay.
That kind of a thing from National Assembly. So there's no security in Nigeria.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Right from the entrance of the assembly, one expected some checks. How do you go in? Which cars are allowed in? You know. Then coming out too, driving off. What happens? What happens? Well, I think it goes for the fact that once you've driven in other words, you were permitted, so driving out wouldn't require any other check. But I think all those will be reviewed now if you look at what has just happened, because they walked in or drove in freely, unchecked, also drove out unchecked with the Mace. So something is wrong about the security network there. And as we said, we're glad that they are looking at it and hope they will work out something good, not just for the senators, but also for Nigerians, okay? Yes, we want to hear from you. Thank you. Chooks has just called, and he has agreed that there is no, or we don't have enough security in our country, and that's why that happened, okay? But the senators are looking at it. See if we can read you something here that they're thinking about. But please call us. Remember, you're not restricted to the security issue. Anything on your mind at all. It could be something happening on your street, your local government, in your state, or in the nation. You are free to discuss that. Sources told Daily Trust that the opinions will be tabled before the leadership of the National Assembly on Monday. That's the ideas they have about the new security measures. See if the methods being suggested are listed here so that we can just look at it. But it's not for us to agree or disagree with them, just to assure you that they are thinking about it. They are thinking about security at the National Assembly. On Wednesday, the Mace was taken away from the Senate, and around the same time when the Secretary of the PSG, Omo Agege, entered into the Senate chambers. Yes, we know that. Okay, I've not seen this, actually the methods they are suggesting here, but I know the first thing they said on the front page was that they're trying to suggest a clock card. That's where you come in with a personalized card and you slot it in and it will identify you and open the door for you, meaning that if you don't have that card, you can't just go into the assembly. That's one way. That's one way of looking at it. That's one way of looking at it. I hope the cards will not be cloned somehow. Ifeanyi, you're welcome to Citizens Voice. Hello, Ifeanyi. Can you speak up? Can you speak up a bit, Ifeanyi? Oh dear. Can you please increase his volume a bit? Let me hear him. Hello, Ifeanyi. Oh, your TV set is on. The volume is on and it's interfering with what you are saying. Can you bring down the volume so that you can be clearer? Hello? Well, maybe we should just say it as a general guide. Please, when you call and your call is through, the first thing you do is to, reduce the volume of your TV set, completely bring it down, and that will enable your own voice to be heard. You're dealing with signals. They will be clashing. So please, first thing you do if you want to be heard is to kill the volume of your TV set, bring it down to the lowest, and then you can be heard. But if you allow it to be on, you want to hear yourself, then it won't work. It won't work. And that's the cause of the distortions we have right now. And that's what we're having with Tiffany. So we can't hear him because his TV set is on, the volume. So please, bring it down. That goes for anyone who wants to call and contribute on this program. Otherwise, it will interfere with what you are saying and we can't hear you. Okay? If it's about the security situation you want to talk about, please, you're free. Remember, you're not restricted. There is no chosen topic on Citizens' Voice. It is what's on your mind. That's why it's your voice we want to hear on that very issue. Okay? All we are mentioning here is just to jog your memory, draw your attention to certain things. But if those are not the things you want to talk about, feel free to talk about what's on your mind. Okay? It could be something happening around you, something about the local government, something about the country or your state. Hello, Nayo or Nanto?
It's Nanto.
Nanto, okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I want to make a contribution. By saying that there are no security in Nigeria, totally as what happened at the National Assembly.
Okay.
If you listen to what one of the senators said, that's the former CGSD. He said those guys, they moved into the National Assembly.
Yes.
Two Senator Magic. So by that, there is no security who can question them because they are in the cover of the senator. So I want you to take note of that. If it is not that they are in the cover of the senator, security people will question them at the entrance of the National Assembly. I've been there before. I know what that has to do. It's not also easy. Those people that we have to blame are the police, especially the commissioner of police that was there when this happened. Because I was watching it on the television live. So the city was watching with the other policeman with him. It's a shame of this nation. By policemen looking at them, they moved in, they carried the base, they moved out, they could not even stop them. And they went out through the National Assembly. They apprehend them at the Real Stadium in Abuja. That's a shame on the Nigerian police. Thank you, sir. Okay,
Nigel, thank you very much, Nanto. Thank you. Well, he has said it. It's a shame because what that episode suggests is that going out, there's no way they check the vehicles. You are free to go out, to drive out with anything, because if they had checked, I'm sure they would have found that a foreign object is inside their car, because there were no shootings, so you couldn't say they were scared. So what stopped them from looking into the vehicles? Maybe all this will form part of the review now of security at the National Assembly. Yes, a car drives in, is permitted, okay. With what? What is inside the car? Do you check? Do you check? And then when the car is driving away, do you also check what is inside the car? You might not take records, I guess, of everything inside, but at least what you see can raise some questions. What you see can raise some questions. So we hope all this will be integrated into the new security arrangements at the National Assembly. Check the vehicles before the drive-in, identify the persons in all, let them have identifiers or tags that will say, yes, this person is free to enter. Because it's not enough to assume that they were accompanying the senator. Hello, Namdi. Hello, Namdi.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Okay. This is Namdi.
You're welcome to Citizens' Voice.
You see, the problem in this country is some of people do the president I'm not telling Nigerians the truth. You know many of the things that happen in this country. The corruption.
Can you speak up? Speak up a bit.
They say the corruption that takes place in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And you people, the president, are hiding the truth from the public. Because you know what is going on in that particular government house. This is just what happened in the government house, in the parliament now, is just an institution of the hidden child that is going on. And you know the president, you know it. You know, it is a shame. Even I that is speaking right now, I am ashamed to be identified with this stuff record you're doing. It's shameful thing. I am ashamed. It's a shameful thing. Even another thing is this. A person coming out to tell the youth of this country that majority of them are lazy. What kind of president, what country are we? What kind of an encouragement are we getting? It's a different situation. You need a thorough revolution in this country. That's all I have to do. Thank you, sir.
All right, Nnamdi, thank you very much for speaking your mind. Thank you. He's talked about the security situation, and he's talked about the president's comment on Nigerian youths. A lot of them are lazy. Maybe when he comes back, finally, we will be able to get him to say more, or at least his spokespeople to say more on that. I wish we had figures. I wish we had figures that out of certain number of youths in Nigeria, this percentage is lazy. And that would have explained the whole thing, so that you look at the figures and say, well, the president was right or wrong. But he must have some reasons for saying what he said, just that did not go down well with the youths. And I don't think he was given the forum to explain further what he meant by that. But in saying such things, you need figures. You need figures. You need figures to illustrate that. And convince us that truly a lot of Nigerians, because listening to comments on radio, TV these days over that statement, you'll find that the youths are not happy because they are also narrating what they go through in this country, what they suffer at the educational institutions. Everywhere they go to is all frustration. And with that in mind, how could you describe them as lazy? Maybe he was talking of academic laziness, but again, we need figures, because if you look at the rates of passes or failures in exams, it could paint the picture of what he's talking about. So that statement needs further explanation. And what angle are you talking about laziness? From what aspect? It's very important, and I hope one day the pressman will be able to get him to explain that better for all of us. Okay, this is Citizen's Voice. He's here to allow you speak up and speak out. Whatever is on your mind, you want to talk about it, just dial any of the numbers there and call us and tell us. We'll still have some 25 minutes or thereabouts to go on today's program. So we're expecting your calls. We've had calls from Samson, Chinemerem Chuk, Sifani, Nanto, and Nnamdi. Okay. Cleaner Lagos. Cleaner Lagos, very important because it affects our health. What do you say about it? I've been watching TV recently on what's happening in Anambra State on the erosion. If you are from Anambra State and you want to talk about that, that would be wonderful. Hello, Abraham. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Your volume.
Just look at this by the express road. Look at our army and police. It's really simple. Look at the way that we are escorting all these escorts on those people, all the vehicles we carry to come to Lagos. So we escort the one thing that can escort from French Lagos State. Yes, because of the one they say that police or army that are not supposed to be fighting us. That they are still escorting goods go to our state by state. What is the way to our country?
I think I can hear the whole back of your TV set. Your TV set is on. It's interfering with what you're saying now. Aha. Yeah. Kill the volume on your TV set, yes. And speak up.
Okay. We don't need it as well. What is the stop all the stature and let all the police, all the army, those the great that you want to do. This person after I don't know where the country is doing there. It's my opinion. Right.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abraham. Thank you for your observations and comments. Okay. So far, we're doing well. No foul language. That's all we ask for, that you don't get involved in while you're speaking on this program. So we are doing well. Congratulations to those who have called in so far. And if you want to call in, you want to speak about something, please maintain the same stance. No insultive language. Say it the way you feel, but don't insult anyone or any institution. Okay, it's Citizens' Voice, and it allows you a chance to speak up or speak out on any subject whatsoever. So I was talking about people from Anambra State. How do you feel? The erosion issue has been there for years. And it's like it's above the state government. It's above the state government. Doesn't mean there's nothing the state government can do to control that erosion. They're waiting for the ecological fund. Is that the only way out? I keep wondering, because that issue has been there for years. Does it mean the previous governments did nothing about it? We're waiting for the federal government alone? I don't know about how you feel as a citizen, but I think the government needs to do something. At least start doing something and call for assistance from the federal government. I don't know, but you are there. We'd like to hear from you. Ochuko, how are you? Hello. Please turn down the volume of your TV set and speak up. Let's hear you. Yes, Ochuko. Hello. Well, it's like something has happened to the line. I don't know, but
what I want to say is that I think what happened in the National Assembly, to my mind, is a calculated plan or an arrogant attempt to tarnish someone's image. Otherwise, there is no way somebody will go into that National Assembly with the security there and score through like that. So I think, like I said, it's a calculated attempt to tarnish somebody's image.
Ochuko, you speak as someone who has been there. Have you gone into the assembly before? Because you are so sure there is security enough to deter such movement. Are you sure about that? Hello? Hello, Ochuko. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
I said, you speak as if you have gone to the assembly before, the Senate, and you've been in and out. Have you? Have you gone there before? Hello? Well, it's like he cannot hear me. Well, he spoke in such a way suggesting that he's been there before, because he talked about the security being able to dictate something, if not that it was managed to, tarnish somebody's image. That's why I wanted him to tell us, yes, I've been there before, and it's not that easy to just walk in and walk out. That's what I wanted to get from him, but it's like he did not hear me. So, okay. Well, thank you, Ochuko. He's surprised that it happened, but I mean, he's not surprised. He's saying that what happened must have been orchestrated to tarnish somebody's image. Otherwise, there's no way they could just walk in or drive in and drive out like that unnoticed or unchecked. Well, that's why I wanted to know, have you been there before to prove that it's not that easy to walk in? And if you've been to the assembly before, the Senate especially, and you want to talk about the security network there, how easy or not it is, please let us know. Hello, Henry. How are you? Hello, Henry. I hope there's no... Is that Henry?
Henry speaking.
Okay, you're welcome.
The issue of Lagos State is what I want to mention in terms of the environmental sanitation.
Okay, go ahead.
I believe that the government was to improve on the sanitation situation, not to worsen it.
Okay.
But from what I can see around me, around us, it's getting worse. I can't imagine government or people asking people to go and drop taxi on the express or on the road that they will pack them when they are supposed to allow people to keep those taxi in their domain and those whatever their name is go and pick them rather than for us to tell all the residents to go out drop their taxi in the road. Does not stand or that does not give any cleanliness or show any improvement or show any kind of I don't even know why we should go back rather than to improve on what we have at ground. Then the issue of National Assembly, I wonder why we are playing politics with ourselves. It's a shame that we will allow that to happen before the international community. How can we allow and play like children and let people be laughing at us? How can we, even if we have something behind it, why should we put ourselves in such a situation whereby people will be looking and say, do these people really know what they are doing? How can people, about 2 or 3 group of people walk into a national assembly, even if you use yourself, you know, before somebody can walk into that studio, there will be some change. There will be some blockage. I can't walk into your studio without some check. So there is a blackmail, there is something behind it. There is no institution in federal state or federal or private that you don't have some checks. There are some checks at the gate. You can get there without being checked, without being asked, where are you, who are you, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
So there is a blackmail, there is something, there is a bias, there is something, the government knows what is their need. That is my comment.
All right, Henry, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. Okay, well said. And you're free to speak up your mind, speak out, whatever it's on your mind, let us hear. Henry has faulted the incident at the National Assembly where the Mace was taken away, saying the same thing, that it was a disgrace and we have exposed ourselves to the world. Okay, and he talked about Cleaner Lagos initiative too. Now what's on ground is not reflecting that yet, but it's work in progress, as they say. All you just want to hear is how is it going in your area. A new outfit is in charge. They must be studying the routes and trying to get used to the ropes. It might take some time, but cleanliness, as they say, is next to godliness, and that's why we are worried. Okay, National Assembly Security. Moses, how are you?
I'm fine. And how are you too?
I'm okay. Welcome.
You say at the top of that, we don't want to tell our secretary. If you know what the citizen is going through, we'll be able to tell our secretary.
Okay.
And we are afraid, call the next people that from this country. Okay? And you do go to market. To market. How can we be going through all this? For example, today, people who are such and they are productive and they get and they say the 25. How can you go to peace?
Oh, I don't know why your line is breaking.
Huh?
Hello, your line is breaking. Are you too close to...
Yeah, I know. I bet we don't know where I'm going. 2019 will terminate. If we will get the president for all, we will take him out. We are tired of all these things. We are tired. I'm not the right. Look at the organization. When you look at that, there's anarchy everywhere. That means that the heads are not going to look up. But if laws are what is the government, I am so surprised what the government is getting on. You don't have anything to give to the masses. You don't have anything to give to the people. I'm telling you, comment and fellow. Thank you.
Oh, Moses, thank you very much. I just hope the viewers heard what you said. It was breaking from this end in the studio. I couldn't hear you exactly. I know you talked something. You said something about INEC. Clearly, I heard that word INEC. But what exactly you said about them, honestly, I didn't get. So I'm sorry about that. But I hope your views are heard by others, and those who want to take one or two things from there will do so. If you talk about security, you know, we have a way of getting used to the usual things. So it's not impossible that maybe some security checkpoints were there at the assembly, maybe at the beginning, and now it's relaxed, but they are there. We're waiting to hear what will happen and what they will do that is new. Those who have been to that place, if you are also watching, you want to talk about what was on ground before now, it will be delightful to hear from you. Okay. We still have 12 minutes or thereabout to go, so you can still call us and share with us what's on your mind. The Cleaner Lagos initiative, it's important, especially for Lagos residents. How is it working in your area? You need to let people know, and you need to let the government know, so that they can also sit up and also do their monitoring job, because they may not just know that things are not working out as planned, because the reporting system in the ministry could be a different thing altogether. You know, you just believe on what you see there from the right sources, and you work with that. But what's on ground might be different. And that's what happens to our contracts. The Mushin Road, for example, I think it was done about 4 months ago, or thereabout, early this year. Now, that particular portion is caving in again. The potholes are there again. Now people are driving one way. Yes, and that's something that was done not more than 5 months ago. And even if it's a year ago, I still remember the historic Igondo Road, more than 12 years, still intact. Good job by a reputable company. 12 years on, it was done during the Tinubu era actually, and it's still intact. That's an example of what we should have in a place like Lagos. But that road, as I was saying, the Mushin one, is just about 5 months old, and that particular portion is bad again now, forcing people to drive one way. So who did that job, and who supervised, and who approved, and who paid for it? Hello, Moses. Hello, Moses. I have a problem with your line. I don't know. Your line has a problem. Your line has a problem. It's just the same thing as it was the first time. I know you are talking, but what exactly you are saying, I can't pick a word. That's the problem. I don't know why your line is like that, but I'm sorry about it. I can't hear a word. But you may go on and just speak. Tell us what you want to say, but I won't make any response, because honestly, I can't hear you. I can't get what you are saying. That's what I mean. Okay? Maybe you move away from your TV set when you are talking, so that, you know, at least I heard others, but I'm not hearing. It's just sounding woolly. Okay. Yes, so we're talking about our governments and the things we do and the things they do for us. They need to pay more attention to certain things. Talking about roads, what does it pay you? I don't know which is less costly. You do a road, and in 6 months that road is bad again. You come back and do it again. Is it not better to do it once and for all? As I said, we have an example in this state, the Gondu Road. Those who live in that area will know what I'm talking about. It's more than 12 years old and it's still intact with all the traffic. So why don't we replicate things like that all over the state? Why do we do it in a different way? That costs a road under 5 months, you are back to it. Well, those officials in charge should look at the Moshi Road again, leading to Jolegba and so around the Idioro side. You will see the portion again. Water there again, back again. I don't know where the water is coming from. And the potholes back there again. And the people are now forced to drive one way. And everybody was rejoicing just 5 months ago that this thing has been fixed. Back to square one. So, what does it pay us? I'm sure that road was not done gratis. I don't have details, but I have a feeling it was paid for. And the engineers were not involved. What kind of roads are we constructing? Under 5 months, we are back to the same story. Well, tell us what it is in your area. I know some areas don't have tarred roads at all. They're used to the earth roads, and they're still managing. Well, that's a function of development. With time, we'll get there. But what we're saying is the ones that have been done, why don't we do them well? And you face another area and start the development. Okay, if you have some things like that in your area you want to talk about, we still have 7 minutes to go. Talk to us. You're talking about security in the country, talk to us. You're talking about the herdsmen, talk to us. No youth has spoken about what the president said. Maybe you agree with what he said, that a lot, or many youths are lazy. But I was saying that we were waiting for the angle from which the president was speaking. Was he speaking from the angle of academics? Was he speaking from the angle of physical energy? Maybe because in his time, people went to farm, people did hard work, hard labor to survive, to make ends meet. These days, it's not like that. Everybody's in the city, or majority, now live in the city, and so they don't do such hard work. Is that what he meant? But you also come to the city, you see hawkers, you see young men and women who are hawking, running after traffic to sell. That's not an easy job, if you ask me. So many other things are happening. Some fry or sell things by the roadside, facing, especially in Lagos, facing the authorities who drive them away from time to time. So some of them even lose their items in the process. The car team is there, So if you look at it, they're not having it easy, if you ask me. Bread hawkers, different items you see on our roads, and in most cases they are pursued by the authorities not to do that, because it's not the best way anyway, but that's just their means of survival. So you couldn't look at laziness from that angle, because some of them are really working hard. I agree, there are some who are born with the golden spoon, as they say, or silver spoon. Yes, but how many of them? Yes, there are those who are really, enjoying their parents' wealth. They don't do anything, no labor. But how many of them are we talking about? So that's why I said that in such a statement, figures will be necessary to say maybe 20%, 70% of the youths are lazy. And it has to be empirical, because for you to really say that, you must have your figures. Well, that might not be what you want to say. We still have a few minutes for you to speak up. I do not hear much about things happening on our streets, around us, because at times, yes, while it's good to look at the national issues, everything begins from your environment. Your local government, for example, how many of us know our local government councillors? How many of us know our local government chairman? What are they doing around you? Are they serving you, for example? You don't know about that. You just pass through and you don't even bother. I hear some local government chairmen don't live in their local government areas. They come from other places. As we hear some governors do too. They're not living in their state. They live in Abuja and fly to their state for... such things are what we should be concerned about. You couldn't be governing us from another place. If you are not with us, how do you know what we are going through? So you come to my area, you are the local government chairman, you come there in the daytime, spend a few hours in the office, you go back to Lekki or Ajah, and you say you are a local government chairman? I don't see how it works. Citizens should be concerned about such things. Citizens should be concerned about such things. You get concerned about the roads, the way the roads done in your area. How long do they last before they wash away? You need to get concerned about that, because that's money going down the drains. Every 6 months, every 7 months, you retard the road. Is that the lifespan of a road? These are the things we should be concerned about, because it all begins from our locality. If we are not good at home, how do we get good outside? Hello, Joseph. Can we hear from you? What's on your mind, Joseph? Hello, Joseph. I can't hear Joseph. He's calling from Oshodi. Is there any problem? Okay, the line cannot go through. Okay, Joseph was to talk to us from Oshodi. That's another interesting area in Lagos, if you ask me. A lot of things going on there, construction and reconstruction. I think the people are happy. The people are happy. We want to see the end of it all, the picture that will come out from that place. But so far, I think people are happy with what is going on. We want to see how the popular market there will look like after the reconstruction, what shape it will take. What people have always complained about is that when government moves into an area to develop it, bring it up to standard, in the end, those who were there before are left out. The new people with more money take over. We hope that's not what will happen to that place. And I think the trouble in that area is getting down, talking of touts and motor park attendants and all those things. They're more under control these days, more decent. So we're happy about that. We're happy about that. Okay, we have 3 minutes to go now, and we'll be waiting for 1 or 2 more calls. Whatever is on your mind, let us hear. Otherwise, we'll be signing off for today. We've talked about security at the National Assembly. People are not happy that people could just walk in or drive in and drive out without being noticed, and they meant to do some harm. Thank God nobody shot, otherwise it would have been a different story. They just wanted, as somebody said, Chidamerim, I think, said that they wanted to make a point. The point they wanted to make is that there is no security here, and that's why they came in, took the Mace away, and dumped it somewhere. Although the IG said it was the lockdown on the city that and the stop and search that brought it about. And that stop and search could have been done at the National Assembly premises. A car is driving into the compound, look at it, do some security checks, what's inside this vehicle, okay, for safety. And then when the car is about to drive out again, you look, what is inside this vehicle? If that was done, we would have seen that Mace before it gets out. But those are lessons, and we just hope that these things that happen to us give us opportunities to learn and do better and live better. That's what we can hope for. Okay. A minute to go now on Citizens Voice. If you're already dialing, we'll allow you to do that. Otherwise, it will be till next week. But let's give you that 40 seconds. 40 seconds. If your call does not land here, then it means it will be till next week. Okay? But remember, we're here every Saturday, 12 o'clock. A platform for you to speak your mind, tell us what you think, but I encourage you to begin from your locality, what's happening in your own area. Then, of course, you can go to the national level. You're not restricted in any way, but I'm saying we should take note of what happens around us first, especially the services we expect from government. And that's why we're talking about cleaner Lagos, talking about the roads, the things that concern us immediately. Because if we all get concerned with what happens around us immediately all over the country, then you have a better country. You have a better country. Okay. We want to thank you for today. It's time up, and we have to go now. We'll be back same time, Saturday, DV. So get ready to join us then. For today, we want to thank you, Samson, Chinemerem Chuks, Ifeanyi, Nanto, Namdi, Abraham, Ochuko. You tried to call, but you couldn't get through. Henry, Moses, and Joseph, who also tried to call now, but couldn't get through. Thank you for the wonderful company. Join us same time next week. I'm Ambrose Ezenwani, asking to brighten up the face with some smiles. And if you see someone without any, give him one of yours. Bye-bye now.